So with each new teaser, it appears that there's more hidden messages and they're getting more and more cryptic.
Yes, but with a little bit of research and experimenting, we managed to solve it.
So, what is going on, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is the Ryan here.
And today we once again have another video for you all. Now, this one is coming in straight from scottgames.com as of the 9th of July. And there's been a brand new teaser, and it seems to be featuring some iconic character we saw in Five Nights at Freddy's 3.
Yes, that would be Springtrap. And this teaser is possibly the most interesting and unique teaser we've actually seen on Scott Games. We've said that's for many, but it's just the fact that we can see more of the establishment and even outside, which we'll get onto later. It's very strange.
Yeah, I think, with these teasers, I think why we're finding them so interesting and each one seems to be having more impact is that they seem to be showing us new evidence. They're not really recapping on any of the characters we've seen before. I mean, we said this is Springtrap, but it's actually one of his kind of offspring, I suppose you could say, but we'll go more into that later. So I think the first thing we should speak about is the environment this character is in.
Yes, now, it's a very strange environment. Like I said, I mean, it's very apparent that this Springtrap is small due to the doorways to his right and left. They're very tall. I'm not sure if these are human sized, but it just makes the place, if it wasn't, look absolutely ginormous, like there's some kind of Barbie doll in a huge house or something. But it's just the fact that we can see outside. It's very, very unique.
Yeah, we've never actually seen outside of an establishment in a direct form before, and it's kind of weird, isn't it, actually seeing behind the closed doors. We're actually getting a glimpse of what it actually looks like outside of the establishment also.
Yeah, it just gives a whole new world to the game as well, which is so good.
That it does, and I think a really interesting thing is the actual setting we're seeing this image in. If we look out the window, it's most certainly nighttime.
I was actually thinking that this may be for a particular reason. We know if we go back to the newspaper clippings in Five Nights at Freddy's 1, that 2 children were abducted, what they thought to be just 2 at the time. What turned out to be 5 children were abducted during late hours of operation in Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Now, could this image right here be a direct representation of what happened that night?
Absolutely, yeah. And it's very interesting because we've also got to be thinking, is this going to be set in the future? Is it going to be set in the past? I kind of think this is going towards the future because if we look at the condition of this character, once again, we're seeing a very withered design toward him. So now we're going to move over to the text on screen, and that is, terrible things come in small packages. So this is going straight back to the whole idea that this character may be of a smaller scale. Now, that must mean that the doors may be to a relative height of maybe a human, or how we saw the animatronics walking between them in Five Nights at Freddy's 2 more so. And it must mean that this character is quite small.
Yes, and I think that this is done on purpose. I think that this whole image is a metaphor of what I said previously, that this is the events that took place when this person in a yellow suit, supposedly, lured these children to the back, killed them, stuffed them into the suit. What we're seeing right now is the suit that was used, the size of the child that was abducted, and also the suits that they're stuffed into. Well, not Springtrap, but it's stuffed into suits, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Now, I think we're going to move over straight away to who this character might actually be. So I think most have confirmed that Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is most likely going to take place in the future.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, so now we have to look at the design of this new character who is sat on this chair. Now, a lot of people are instantly saying this has to be Springtrap, but there's a few key differences with this character that don't seem to be adding up entirely. The most obvious one being that this character has 2 ears. That is 2 complete ears. Springtrap in Five Nights at Freddy's 3 was actually missing one of his ears, so this must be a totally different character to who we first thought it to be.
Or it could just be a completely repaired version of Springtrap, maybe,
could be.
before he was broken down.
Absolutely, yeah. Maybe it was repaired after. If this game is set after Five Nights at Freddy's 3 and the relics were recovered, for all we know, they could have fixed them up and sold them on.
Another thing I'd like to bring up is what we see at the end of Nightmare Mode in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. We can see the Freddy plushie in screen, and when we brighten up that image, we can see Springtrap directly behind. If we actually go into the source code, now this is where things get a bit difficult. Scott has used something called a Caesar cipher, where he uses a set of numbers with the alphabet. So he gave us the letters CYH, GVH, GPE in different rows. He also gave us some numbers that are located on the resource page of Google Chrome. It says copyright of Scott Cawthon with 3 set numbers. Now, if we use these numbers alongside the letters and the rows that they're given, so the first row would be 13. You go 13 numbers forward and you get the first letter, etc., etc. You keep this going and eventually you get the word Plushtrap.
Yes, and Plushtrap is a thing we have not actually heard before. We know, of course, the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 main protagonist was nicknamed Springtrap, and now all of a sudden we're seeing this plushie that seems to replicate this character. It might actually be hinting, personally from my opinion, towards Springtrap's return.
Yes, I mean, the fact that there's a plushie made, we know Freddy, Bonnie, there were plushies made because they were mascots of a Freddy pizzeria.
Yes.
So maybe this is set further in the future where the horror attraction was also made as a plushie or like a remembrance, or if you know what I mean.
The last thing I actually want to pick up on for this is the fact of going back to the Nightmare Freddy image. Now, we have to really think, are these small Freddys actually plushy Freddys?
Oh, God, yeah.
That would mean, and we've seen these guys, if these guys are actually the same as this Plushtrap character here, and we've seen that these small miniature Freddy characters are actually operational, or at least they appear to be doing things consciously, then that must mean that this Plushtrap character also has some form of conscience and may actually be a protagonist in Five Nights at Freddy's 4.
Yeah, and coming back to this image, the fact that we don't see Nightmare in front goes to show that this is actually in reality.
Yes, exactly. So it's kind of like cementing the difference between the two, isn't it?
Definitely, yes.
And I think the whole kind of, you see the nighttime outside with the light shimmering in and falling on this character, is kind of like representing, it's almost like the outside is the idea that it's night. It may be a nightmare character, but we're seeing the light cast on this character, and it's almost like representing he is real. He is definitely there in his physical form.
Yes, definitely.
So there we have it, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. This was a very in-depth discussion about the newest teaser image on scottgames.com. We hope you did enjoy, and we hope also we didn't miss anything, but if we did, be sure to comment down below any of your thoughts.
Yeah, and if you guys did enjoy this video, why not leave a like rating down below, as it helps a lot. And if you're new to this channel, why not subscribe for more discussions and theories like this, and also some gameplays.
So thank you very much for watching the video, guys, and we'll of course see you on the next one.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?